welcome everyone. Either welcome back or welcome your first time visiting or participating in this, and welcome to WeAwake. And this is part of what we do at iAwake, but we figured out a while back that it would be really good to do it as a group experience because experience shows and the science shows that when people meditate together, there's the the sum is greater than its parts and creates something that is bigger than just the individual efforts. And if we're down, sometimes we get to ride on the spiritual coattails of other people, or if we're really in a good, expanded place, healthy place, we can bring others a healing, and it works in very mysterious ways. So that's why we do this, and doing it a while, and we just keep doing it. So because we like it. So today we're going to listen to Calm, and it is track 2 of NeuroFlow, which I can't keep saying one of my, I have so many favorite tracks, but I've used this quite a bit. And we've already listened to one of them, Focus, which is great to start your day with. And this one is called Calm, and it entrains the brain into the alpha state, the very focused state where the mind is clear and doing what a healthy mind does. So let us assume the position. Try to get your spine as straight as you can. I think it helps. And it also just kind of shows that you're respectfully just honoring the work that we're doing. Instead of just going, there's something about just sitting straight and, keeping your head up, shoulders back, etc., that adds to it in various ways. So I guess without further ado, this is a half hour. So enjoy. And sometimes meditation, half hour can seem like 5 minutes, or half hour can seem like 5 years. Some clarity in the middle of time is very relative when it comes to altered states and spiritual work. So let's see how this works for us today. Welcome, welcome. So it was from our collection, NeuroFlow, second track, Calm, gorgeous. Thank you for meditating here with us. Certainly feel your presence. So, gosh. So, why do we do what we do? Why do we meditate at all? And what drives us to meditate? And I think it's often developmental. We get to a stage where we achieve what we're supposed to achieve. And during that particular stage, like I was talking with Dan Millman yesterday, by the way, we have this podcast. It's called, what is it called? Deep. Can you help me out here?
Deep transformation.
Deep transformation, self-society, spirit. I guess I went so deep. I went deeper than deep, right? And I'm doing it with Dr. Roger Walsh. He's an old hero of mine. Been around from the beginnings of humanistic psychology, transpersonal psychology, integral. He's a great scholar. Taught at UC Davis. He's a doctor, a medical doctor, a psychiatrist, as well as a PhD, and a couple of masters started there. So he's quite a guy, and I completely admire that kind of dedication to learning and scholarship. And hanging around with Roger makes me be more of a scholar myself. Because if I'm gonna swim in that side of the pool, I better get busy. And that's what I've noticed with all these interviews that we've been doing, and we haven't released it yet, Deep Transformation, but we will in November. At least that's the plan. So we'll have at least 10 or 12, if not more, conversations with these remarkable people. And the whole thing has been rather intuitive. I met Roger. He just suffered the loss of his wife, amazing person, Frances Vaughn, very accomplished therapist and writer and thinker and spiritual teacher on her own right. And she was gone. And I just gone through a process of losing my parents, and very connected to my parents, loved them very deeply. And we just became friends. And somewhere in that exchange, I don't know if it was afterwards, I said, we ought to do a podcast. And I think Roger's terrific. And I'd always, at conferences, I'd go, he'd speak, and always make sure he'd be the one thing that I wouldn't miss, because he always brought such, just wisdom, humility, scholarly depth, so much of the party. And honored him. So I figured if I get a podcast, get Roger talking, it would be a really good thing for a lot of people. And sure enough, I think I was right. But it became clear to me, I think my motivation for participating in the podcast was I wanted to hang out with people that inspired me to be a better person. What does that mean, to be a better person? Well, means that that we talk about as I've talked about anyway, as the meaning of life being to wake up, to grow up, clean up, and show up. And wake up is the realization who and what you are at the deepest level. Ding, thou art that. And it's shocking or it's paradigm smashing, or it's paradigm constructing. I'm not sure what it is, but it changes everything. Okay. And but often it shows up in glimpses, like the curtains go back and you see it, then they're again. You're left with this blasting memory of light, of God, or however you want to say that, the perfection of it all, the beauty, the love, all of that. And that is not something that is above you or separate from you. That is you and you. And that just changes everything. But sometimes we life will go on, and we have these moments of wakefulness, but then we forget, or it's just a memory, just a taste, and that can be very tormenting because you have this profound perception of depth and where to go. So I think that's what leads a lot of us to meditate an ongoing transformative prayer, or the contemplative path, the path where we do our bit to get our mental chatter out of the way and to open our minds and hearts and experience the divine presence and just hang out in that. And as a form of worship, as a form of self-recognition, as a form of ultimate re-identification with who we are and always have been. So, so these conversations has really been something, has taken me from where I am and really inspired me and given me fresh insight into this stage of my life. So I'm not living on the light and revelations I was given in my 20s, but something that's fresh and new. And we've tried to take these conversations, not just as, when you have authors and highly accomplished people, they do a lot of podcasts and a lot of talks, and they just say the bullet points or whatever it is, but take it beyond that into a deep experiential realm where we break through the condition, even though, the conditioning is great. It's great information, but to a deeper level. And then it begins to be a dance with the logos, dia-logos, and it begins to be a yoga, and yoga comes from the old Sanskrit word to join with, union with the divine, and these conversations can turn into that, and that helps us to wake up and stay awake. Okay, and there is no end to the infinite. It just gets deeper and deeper and deeper, better. And then the other parts of that are growing up, becoming the most highest level of our potential functioning, to be able to take that kind of wisdom that comes from that realization of God and then bring that back into the world to help you be a better husband, a better whatever you are, a better teacher, a better dog owner. I don't know if I'm a dog owner, I'm a dog guardian or something like that. Anyway, it doesn't seem like an ownership thing, but whatever that is. And that's really, that's really the rub, and of course there's things, can you tell if you're enlightened? Well, ask a person's wife, right? If is your husband like, or go home for the holidays. That's another one. If you think, man, you've been doing your practices, and, you've been doing all the right stuff, and then Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner, whole family's there, and see how you hold it together in those circumstances. And I'm not saying that you don't. You certainly can. And my family has been nothing but wow, something to practice with, to work with. So I guess like God gives us our families, He knows what we need, or we select. I'm not sure how it works out, but it all seems to work together. So do the work, and with this meditation thing, mindfulness has become all the rage, or very popular in the last few years, which is a really good thing. because that's the beginning steps of meditation, where you could just be present the moment, the right now. Okay. And that's really cool. And when we have a very, culture that gives us all this information, we have these little beasts, constantly giving us new stuff about new stuff or whatever it does. And all of that, it's hard just to be present in the moment, but know that mindfulness is not the end of it. That's not the goal. That's just the beginning. That's just like step one. That's like when you begin to acquire a language, you say da, da, or mom, or doggy. And which is, it's essential, and it's all part of it. But it's just the starting a process of getting the mind and bringing the brain into some sort of control, so that you can do what we need to do to become what we need to become and to wake up. It took 13.8 billion years to create a person as neurotic as me. I mean, or us, can you imagine, the work it took the universe and God to just create our highly complicated, weird cells. All right. And knowing that all that is the raw material to become these, become these children of God, if you will, that recognize who we are and begin to walk a path of service and helping others, and not simply as a guilt trip. Well, this is what I got to do. They said so, and catechism, which they should have said. But anyway, it becomes just a natural expression of where you are and your path in life. That at some point, without that giving back and without that compassion and all, something blocked. And it ain't easy. None of it's easy. It's not supposed to be. But once we struggle, we have moments where it's completely easy. It's just like the easiest, most natural thing in the world. But that takes so much effort to get to the point, to the effortlessness. Like if you're a terrific musician, or I play the guitar, sometimes I get in the zone where it's just, I don't have to worry about scales or chords or where am I going with this or what's following. It's just like, it's just coming through, and it's so divine. And we experience that a lot. I experience that a lot in nature. And by the way, that's not a fake thing behind Heidi there. That's actually where she lives. So that's my heartland too. And I don't want to say anybody else's nature thing might not be real. No, I'm just saying. But the Japanese call it walking in nature is take a forest bath. I heard the other day. Isn't that great? Go take a forest bath. Just let the natural world and all its vibrancy and all its amazingness just soak into you, and that will help you a lot with. It will chase away despair, disconnectedness, and perhaps, and I'll shut up after this, but perhaps the most awful thing that has happened to human beings is that we've lost our connection with one another and with the natural world. And you can see the roots of all the crises that are going on right now as just the results of that loss of connection. So as we wake up, and Jesus said the kingdom is within, but in gospel time he says it's also without. We'll also wake up to the beauty that surrounds us, whether it's just a little flower coming out of the crack in the sidewalk or wherever we find it. It's there, and if we can see it, deeply see it, means we're not too we're okay in that moment. We're kind of clear, and living in where we lived in southern Utah, where Heidi is now, it was always a mirror for me when I looked out the window and just went, oh yeah, experience the awe at the beauty. I was doing okay, and there was something getting in the way, and I needed to practice a little more, do a little more releasing, or find out whatever it was that's keeping me from seeing the beauty. So anyway, folks, that's a lot about a lot. love you. Thank you for showing up with us, and hope it's fun. And here's wishing you great breakthroughs in your work on yourself so that you can become the person we all need you to be. All right. So we love you. God bless. Thanks.